The fire tragedy in Kuwait, which had killed 49 foreign workers, mostly Indians. In the latest, the plane carrying mortal remains of over 40 Indians has landed in Kochi in the Indian state of Kerala just a short while ago. India had sent a military transport aircraft to Kuwait to bring back the mortal remains of the workers. Minister of State KV Singh, who coordinated with Kuwaiti officials to ensure swift repatriation, was also on board the aircraft, which landed in Kochi in the Indian state of Kerala just a short while ago. Like you can see on your screens, the picture of the aircraft which has just landed. Now, the airlift done by the Indian authorities comes after 49 foreign workers were killed in an inferno in Kuwait. Those who died in the incident includes 45 Indian victims and 3 Filipino nationals. On the other hand, officials in Kuwait have detained 3 people for suspected manslaughter over a building fire that killed 49 foreign workers. And for more on this, we're now being joined by correspondent Siddharth MP, joining us live from Chennai. Hi, Siddharth. The plane carrying mortal remains of 40 Indians from Kuwait has just landed in Kochi. 7 bodies of those deceased are from Tamil Nadu. What else are you picking up?
See, so the C-130J Hercules has just landed in Kochi. What we know is that maximum number of casualties are from Kerala. So 45 Indians have lost their lives in the fire tragedy that took place in the early hours a couple of days ago. But what we have to keep in mind is that of that half the number, 23 of them are from Kerala. And this is the, worst possible news for the people of Kerala because, 23 lives lost in a single tragedy. And of course, that flight now having landed in Kochi. So thereafter, the bodies there pertaining to South India, the mortal remains will actually be placed at the airport there in Kochi. And thereafter, the mortal remains that belong to the southern states, that is Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra, they will be moved to the southern states thereafter. And then later this afternoon, around 4, the same C-130J Hercules is expected to land in Delhi. So in Delhi, the mortal remains of those who belong to the northern Indian states, they'll be unloaded there in Delhi and thereafter they'll be moved to the respective locations. So the Tamil Nadu government even yesterday had mentioned very clearly that they're taking expeditious efforts to bring back the mortal remains and hand it over to the families, the aggrieved families and the bereaved families. So as part of that, the mortal remains will next be brought to Chennai and different parts of Tamil Nadu pertaining to Tamil Nadu itself, and each state will be taking their own efforts henceforth. So this is what we have gathered, and 33 people continue to be in the hospital in the aftermath of this incident. There were a total of 150 people staying there, of which 45 have succumbed and 33 approximately are in the hospital, Raisha.
Right, Siddharth, we do know that the mortal remains of Indians have just reached back and landed in Kochi in the Indian state of Kerala. Let's also talk about the investigation which is currently taking place. The Kuwaiti administration has said that the fire which was caused by an electrical circuit, they released a press statement on that. What else do we know about the investigation which killed 49 foreign workers, 40 of them being Indians?
Yeah, so what we understand is that they're calling it manslaughter. The Kuwaiti authorities are calling it manslaughter. There are multiple angles to it. While it's too early to give concrete information on an ongoing investigation, what we must remember is that there are certain limits on how many people can stay in an enclosed structure or a building like that. So generally in a structure there are, set limits on how many people can stay there. But in this case, it needs to be seen whether there was a violation and whether more people than necessary and more people than permitted were packed into that building. That is the first aspect to be looked into. Second thing, this is said to be the cases in large number of what are known as labor camps in that part of the world, because workers from different parts of the world come there and they work for very low wages, and they work so that they can send back money to their home country, to their families who are waiting for them back in their home country. So their objective is to save maximum amount of money and ensure that they can send as much back home. But in such cases, they also have to compromise on certain things. What they do, knowingly or unknowingly, is that more people than permitted stay in closed structures to ensure that they spend minimum money on rent and other expenses. So this is something that has to be probed at a larger level to understand who was at fault here, whether it was the building authorities, whether it was the workers themselves. It needs to be probed in detail to understand, but Kuwaiti authorities themselves are calling it manslaughter because this is generally an unprecedented incident where so many lives have been lost in a single fire tragedy. Of course, some of the reports indicate that because the fire was very early in the morning, maximum number of people were affected and most of them were asleep. In some cases, people tried to, jump out of the third and second floor windows. Some survived miraculously. Some actually succumbed to their injuries. In some cases, they inhaled the noxious fumes and the asphyxia and suffocation that resulted from inhaling the fire and the fumes. That actually caused a lot of problems. So different scenarios that had played out there in Kuwait is what has led to this tragedy. So it will take time for a clear picture to emerge, but the Kuwaiti authorities are seriously investigating the manslaughter angle and the fact that there could have been something that went wrong, and the responsibility for this will be fixed on the people who are found guilty.
Right, Siddharth. Thank you so much for joining us on the show with your insights on this.